Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, Seven Deadly Sins chapter came out mad early. Mad early. I was like, what? But when it came out, it was like Saturday. I'm like, whoa. Huh? Nevertheless, it came out, and I was like, okay, let's read it. This one, holy shit. I'm going to agree with my good man Justin McGraw-Poulenc on this. Gowther's not human. There's no way he can be human. I just can't see it. He has to be something else. Now, jury's still out, but I'm going to say he could be several things. Because I was watching Hobbit, so a little bit of it. He could be dwarf? No, I don't think he's a dwarf. Because, I mean, it's possible he's a dwarf. But, I don't know. It could be whether he could be a dwarf, he could be an orc, he could be any kind of a magical being that is that size, you know. But yeah, this pretty much was this. This was, you know, this stare down, chapter 53, Armored Giant versus Dawn Roar. And beginning of this chapter, we got, you know, Diane saying, "Really, you found Gowther?" to Meliodas, and he says, "Yes, we found him. We're gonna go find him. We're gonna go to him. It's probably him." And Meliodas tells her to wait. He tells Diane, "Listen, you stay here and guard the house and Elizabeth." She's like, "Oh, Captain, can I count on you?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can count on me. Yes, Diane." Her crazy face. And Hank's telling her to calm down because people are sleeping, you know, because Elizabeth is sleeping and she's got a cold, like a fever or something. And Elizabeth is thinking about something he said. What Meliodas said. He said, "Elizabeth, you are right. That's good enough. That's all good. If you're all right, then it's all good." And then she's thinking about this and she's blushing, you know, and he's saying, "Oh, you got a fever. I'm leaving the house sitting with you, Diane." She's like, "I got it," you know, and stuff. And for some reason, she can't get those words out of her head, Elizabeth. So yeah, that was a whole bit on there. But after that, pretty much it's Peliodas. This kid was, I'm sorry, this kid was stupid. I mean, seriously, what he did in this chapter, like, you have to, I know he's trying to pretend he's the seven deadly sins and everything, but you gotta know when not to do that, when to say no. So pretty much he's walking around with his friend, with the other seven, his fake seven deadly sins, and you know they're walking around trying to find, you know, the seven deadly sins, purge evil, you know, and it's Armando's guy saying this isn't a game, you know, there are knights over there and everything, and he's like saying, "No, we're gonna be the real heroes. We find the villain, the criminal." He's like, "You can't." He says, "Shut up," and he brings up the fact that I shouldn't have saved you in the first place. Which apparently he did. That's what happened with Peliodas. He saved Armando because he was hurt, and he saved him from the life or death situation. And then he says it was this many years ago. And he's saying that he wants to protect him, Peliodas, however he can. And then we have them running. Yeah. Sorry about that. We have Meliodas and Bon and King running through the forest saying, "Don't let your guard down. The Dawn Roar, I've heard of them," and so on and so forth. They're basically talking about Roar Dawn, that they're very ruthless. They focus only on killing their target, so to speak. And And Vaughn says a funny thing. He says, "Oh, then we don't have to hold back," so on and so forth. And they're going through the forest, and they stop, and they say, "Oh, it's Gowther," and then you see Gowther. Oh my God. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God. It was as if Satan made that armor. I'm not joking around with you. This, that armor looks sick. Absolutely sick. So, absolutely sick. And he's standing over these bodies of corpses. All these bodies of knights that he killed. And I'm like, God damn. Unbelievable. But it was just. And then we see the Gowther and the other, of the Raw Dawns. They're there as well. And they're ready to fight this guy. And it was like, these members of the Raw Dawns, oh my God. Just as sick as Gowther. There's this one guy, he's got a bow and arrow. Then we have another guy, he's got like a sword that looks like a saw. And then one girl, I think, she's got a really long sword. It's just insane. This battle is going to be so ridiculous. I have a feeling it is going. And by the way, this is 5-on-5, no questions asked. And they just look sick. And they're doing a small chat, and they're basically saying who this one giant is. And this is we're getting some names of the Raw Dawns. Hugo, Threader, and I think Simone. This is a girl, I think, or guy named Simone, and Threader's telling her, "Don't dwell on such useless tangents. Our job is to silently eliminate our target. Concentrate." So, and the Hugo guy, he's saying that he's one of the 7 deadly sins, and so on and so forth. And they're saying that first wave was just destroyed, completely annihilated. They were just scum. And we get a scene. Oh my God, this scene just sent. When I saw it the second time, it sent chills down my spine. You see Gowther's eye. This guy. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was like, what the? So you see his eye, and I was like, oh my God. This guy is sick looking. So, and they're basically doing a standstill and saying they haven't been moved for like half an hour or an hour. And they're saying the first person who makes them move will lose. They're waiting for that moment, so on and so forth. Saying, in other words, the first person to make a mistake, pretty much like a stare down. That's what Hockey was telling me. This is a stare down between the Raw Dawn and Gowther. And I'm like, the first person to make the move, it's on. And that blew me away. So, and in the rest of the episode, that's when someone does get involved. And it's Peleodas in the 7 deadly fakes. Calling them 7 deadly fakes. And he's like, there's a ton of people lying on the ground. Blah, 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 blah. And then Melda saying, this is the worst. And Peliodas is just running in there saying, "Oh, you guys are holy knights, and where's the criminal? Did you defeat him already?" And he's like, then he's like, and Armando's telling him, come back here, and stuff. And he's like, they're standing like statues. Whoa! He's like, I got you, I got it. You're the criminal. He isn't moving either. Are you afraid of me, aren't you? And he's like saying, and he's attacking him. And I'm like, what are you doing? This kid is like, oh. That blew me away. I was like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. What was he doing? He's attacking. And then next page, like automatically, Gowther strikes. And Armando comes in and pushes him out of the way. And boom! Just the fucking... I was like, no way he just did that. He just pounds the shit out of Armando. And I was like, oh my god, that was sick. Oh man. By all rights, Armando, he's dead. Jesus Christ. And then like the next, and then we see next page, do it. All of the Roar Doors just comes out and attacks Gowther. And it says the armored giant Gowther, Dawn Raw, the seven deadly sins, the chaotic battle between the three is ignited. And then it says the next chapter is going to be called Chapter 54, The Man Who Did Not Move. It says on the side, the signal for the beginning of the fight is the bond between Pelio and Armando. First, the show and opening will lose. Who will be left standing? Now, on the last page, I believe it's this guy Hugo. This guy Hugo, his weapons are very interesting. Now, when I first looked at it, I didn't know what his weapons were because they looked weird. Like, because we got that guy Threader, which his weapon is this freaking... It's not even a sword. It looked like it was a saw. You know, not. You know, like what they used to saw down a tree, lumberjacks, like that as a sword. And then we had that other girl, Simon, I think it was a guy, with that really long sword. But Hugo, his weapons are like these. It's like a staff, but at the top of it, it looked like a disc. It doesn't look like a weapon. It looks like a disc that turns around. It doesn't look like something that, you know what I mean? It doesn't look, it looks different than the other members' weapons. But I think he's probably, his weapon might penetrate Gowther's armor, though it's just a guess on my part. So, you know, 5 out of 5 for this chapter, people. Gowther is a motherfucking beast. I tell you right now. Next week, next week is going to be massive. Massive. I wonder what they're going to do, how they're going to handle this. Meldas and his group, because I don't know. It's really crazy because he just attacked this kid Armando out of nowhere. And now, oh shit, this is going to be so huge. Now, the last one I want to bring up is the whole thing about Gowther and what he is. Now, he can be several things. I see only the utmost classification. He's rather an orc, he could be a troll, or a dwarf. Dwarf? I don't know. Dwarfs usually aren't that size. I mean, we have dwarfs in One Piece, but you see what they look like. They're short as all hell. If I'm gonna go on this, I say he's a troll. Yeah, why not? Because, I mean, like I said, I was watching The Hobbit, and trolls in The Hobbit are pretty fucking huge. But then again, this is Seven Deadly Sins, and you don't want to really compare the two. But I'm going to go on troll or orc, those two classifications. Orc or troll, but troll seems to be more casually, because if you take a look at the page where you see his eye, it's kind of an eye that you look at that is very, lazy eye kind of thing. He kind of has that troll aspect of it when you look in his eye. But that's just me when I'm looking at it. But yeah. Shit. You know? Ah. There's nothing else I can add about this chapter and what I've just said. Next week's going to be huge, people. Next week is going to be massive. Massive, massive battle. Gowther is... there's nothing else I can add. All I can say is this. Some knights are going to die. Some blood is going to be shed. This is going to be brutal. And just ugly. Ugly. So yeah. I'm Bonkai922. I'll see you guys later. Gowther, man. This guy is... holy shit. He's a beast, man. Watch out for him. Watch out. Watch out for Gowther. See ya.